So, folks, we got to talk a little bit about Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro he's on the decline. He's on the out and outs. They're really rolling everything they got into this Daily Wire movies project, and I have not really seen it panning out for them, really. They have yet to have a hit that justifies the enormous amount of money they are spending on their, conservative media ecosystem. And, well, let's just take a look at how he's cooking over at the Daily Wire, okay? With his own personal content.
Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop.
Well, that's a pretty good synopsis of where we are. Hegseth says that very, very soon there will be complete control of the skies. Effectively, there already is. The United States has been flying not B-2s, which is a stealth aircraft, B-52s, which are just gigantic planes that don't move all that fast. They're kind of like passenger airliners. They move like 650 miles an hour. We're flying those over Iran right now. It's basically a blimp in the sky, and nobody can touch it. Here's Hegseth this morning.
Starting last night and to be completed in a few...
It's basically a blimp... a blimp in the sky? What? Like, man... The cool kid's philosopher has really fallen off lately. Wait, did he dye his eyebrows? I was thinking he might have done that. They're they look weirdly well curated. Is that fair?
Basically a blimp in the sky, and nobody can touch it. Here's Hegseth.
I don't know if people need to hear this, but blimps can't go 600 miles per hour, number one. And number two, yeah, blimps would be in the sky. That is where they'd also be in the sky with airplanes. I can't get, like, a blimp in the sky. I mean, I guess in the same way like a hot air balloon is in the sky. Yeah.
This morning.
Starting last night and to be completed in a few days, in under a week, the two most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military.
I do want to really emphasize, for those who have not heard this before, that you cannot achieve a regime change war using air alone, which is why they keep talking about putting troops on the ground in Iran. Like they're trying to get the people to rise up. That's not going to happen. They tried to get the Kurds to invade from Iraq. That doesn't really seem like it's gaining that much steam. And so now they're like, well, we'll send some commandos in to spur the uprising. And like, I don't think that's going to work either. Who wants to work with the Americans at this point? Oh yeah, Americans, I know you guys. You bombed several of our schools and killed hundreds of children. Yes, we'd love to work with you. Like, how do they think this is going to go?
Fixing their leaders and their military leaders. Flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC. Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power.
That is right. Hegseth also pointed out that actually the IRGC, Special Operations Commander, who was in charge of trying to kill President Trump in 2024. And yes, there was an assassination attempt on President Trump, actually two separate assassination attempts on Trump that were in the planning stages when those Iranian agents were arrested. Well, here's Pete Hegseth saying that the guy who was behind all of that is now dead.
We've known for a long time that Iran had intentions on trying to kill President Trump and or other U.S. Officials. While that was not the focus of the effort by any stretch of the imagination, in fact, never raised by the president or anybody else, I ensured and others ensured that those who were responsible for that were eventually part of the target list. It wasn't the beginning of the effort. We were focused on missiles and launchers, and that's the focus. But ultimately, if we had the opportunity to get at those who are trying to get at Americans specifically, we would. We eventually had the opportunity to do that.
What's crazy to me is that they're like, come on, don't you guys want to rise up and overthrow your government? Like, we know we destroyed your democracy, but like, come on, trust us this time. We really believe in Iranian democracy. as long as it totally agrees with us.
From the air.
That person's name is Rahman Mokaddam, who's head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Special Operations Division. As far as status of the war, U.S. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper explains the status of the operation.
More than 50,000 troops, 200 fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and bombers from the United States are participating in this operation, and more capability is on the way. In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions. We have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. And in simple terms, we're focused on shooting all the things that can shoot at us. Our B-2 bombers and B-1 bombers have executed uncontested surgical strikes against multiple missile facilities deep inside Iran. And then just last night, a B-52 bomber force struck ballistic missile and command and control posts. We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far, we've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine.
Wow, it sounds like mission accomplished is right around the corner. Boy, howdy, it would really be terrible if Iran was home to almost 100 million people, and regardless of how many ships you sink or how many missile silos you hit, they will retain the ability in almost seemingly indefinitely to launch drones and hit targets all across the Middle East, and maintain the ability to knock out water to Saudi Arabia's capital if they need to. They maintain the ability to close the Strait of Hormuz if they need to. Like, you can have all the air superiority you want, but if ships aren't going to go through the Strait of Hormuz because they're afraid of getting blown up by land-based forces, then they're not going to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Like, if Iran really does feel backed into a corner here, they have a lot of trump cards to play in terms of causing incalculable damage to the neighbors that surround it, the militaries that surround it, etc. Like, this isn't gonna go well, regardless of how much of their capacity you've eroded at this point. It's not working. You know, it's not working yet, and something tells me that as time draws on and we run out of interceptors, that we might be running away with our tail between our legs.
That now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop.
Well, that's a pretty good synopsis of where we are. But by the way, it's just the beginning. Secretary of State Marco Rubio yesterday, he dropped a phrase that has a storied history, which I'll explain in a moment. He said that we are about to unleash Chang on Iran. Like, there's a lot more to come. I'll explain what the hell he's talking about because it's actually really funny.
You're about to see, we're going to unleash Chang on these people in the next few hours and days. You're going to really begin to perceive a change in the scope and in the intensity of these attacks as, frankly, the two most powerful air forces in the world take apart this terroristic regime and defang it and take away its ability to threaten its neighbors or hide behind a zone of immunity that allows them to develop their nuclear ambitions.
So this is legitimately hilarious. When he says unleash Chang, you know what that means? Okay, so if you go back to the 50s, when China had been taken over by Mao and Chiang Kai-shek had moved over to Taiwan, there was a conservative point of view that we should allow and fund the reinvasion of China from Taiwan. So that was unleash Chang. Okay, that became a sort of meme pushed by George H.W. Bush when he was president of the United States. Apparently, when he was playing tennis, he would yell unleash Chang before hitting the serve. And that was then picked up by Jeb, exclamation point Jeb, former governor of Florida, who would use that phrase all the time, unleash Chang. And when he was the governor of Florida and Marco Rubio.
God, I hate the etymology of this phrase. Please stop educating us. I will also point out, again, we're accomplishing all of our war goals. We're unleashing constant strikes. They've killed almost 200 children so far in the last, week of this fight. As of about 7 minutes ago, Al Jazeera is reporting that an 8-month-old girl has been killed in the bombings. 52 schools have been hit. 193 children killed. 29 hospitals, 19 emergency care units, 16 ambulances have been hit. And Ben's just giddy about all this. It's crazy.
Was the senator from Florida. He gave him a sword that he called Chang, and he described Chang as a mythical conservative warrior. So that's where Unleash Chang comes from. Okay, it's a little funny. Just admit it, it's funny. You know that weird creep?
It's not really that funny. It's mostly just, it feels like a non sequitur, really.
.com/Ben Shapiro Show. And meanwhile, the Iranians are basically relegated to firing desultory ballistic missile attacks, most of which are being shot down, and drones. So they are firing successfully.
I'm sorry, did he say sultry?
Shapiro Show. And meanwhile, the Iranians are basically relegated to firing desultory ballistic...
Oh, desultory. Okay, sorry. Very different word.
...missile attacks, most of which are being shot down, and drones. So they are firing successfully. Some drones are able to escape some missile defense systems because they move so slowly. And so here was some footage of the U.S. consulate in Dubai, which was hit by an Iranian drone. There was no one there at the time. How do you know that Iran is really losing? Because Qatar has turned. So Qatar, which has always played this sort of middle ground between the United States and Iran, well, now they're turning on the IRGC and actually arresting members of the IRGC in Qatar. Remember, this is the country that housed Hamas. 10 suspects, according to Al Jazeera, were arrested in these terror cells, according to Qatar news agencies. 7 had been assigned to spy on vital and military facilities in Qatar. 3 were tasked with carrying out sabotage operations. Hardest hit, Tucker Carlson, who, of course, has been standing for the Ayatollahs, and now his friends in Qatar.
Okay, it is very funny that his editors took the green M&M being sexy clip of Tucker. That is, I do have to hand it to Ben Shapiro's editors. This is funny. You did well. Good job.
For whom he has been running interference. They're our greatest ally, of course. Well, now they're actually acting like allies and arresting members of the IRGC. The desperate counter-arguments...
I can't wait for Ben to be mopping up his tears with his yarmulke when the UN occupying force ends the state of Israel and destroys their plaque in public.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, that's definitely going to happen. Like, Sake, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. It's frustrating, though, because, like, oh, wait, why the green M&M? The green M&M, as we all know, us aficionados of M&M lore, the green M&M is the sexy M&M. You know, it's the one that you want to, like, choke you a little bit. You know, because she had slightly high-heeled boots on. And, you know, conservative men like Tucker Carlson see that and they're like, I wonder what that would be like. I've always wanted to be intimate with an M&M, but never quite like this before. What if she ate me? Like, that's how they get about the green M&M. It's very weird. And in case you guys think I'm joking...
Finally tonight, we don't usually give story tips to NPR, but here's a story they might want to cover pretty soon and doubtless will. M&M's, the candy company, has just announced that it's redesigning its cartoon characters to be more gender inclusive.
They're transing the M&Ms!
Bet you didn't think M&Ms were pushing intolerance, but they were. They've been changed. You're seeing the changes right now on your screen. The green M&M, you will notice, is no longer wearing sexy boots. Now she's wearing sensible sneakers. Why the change? Well, according to M&M's, quote, we all win when we see more women in leading roles. Because leading women do not wear sexy boots. Leading women wear frumpy shoes. The frumpier, the better. That's the rule.
If they wanted M&Ms to be sexy, wouldn't they have the slogan, melts in your hand, in your mouth?
Why aren't they letting this M&M unleash her inner stripper? She can slut it up too. Come on. This used to be a real country. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs.
The other big change is that the brown M&M has, quote, transitioned from high stilettos to lower block
Transitioned?
heels. Also less sexy. That's progress. M&M's will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and
I can't believe this is real. I forgot how bad this was. I forgot how bad it was. Like, just like straight up thirsting after these M&Ms, so mad that like you could no longer imagine one of these M&Ms giving you a hand job. Like it's genuinely like grievance culture all the way top to bottom with conservatives.
Totally androgynous until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won.
Unlike right now, when I look at M&Ms and I've got a chubby in my pants for them. I got a Snickers that I want to share with these M&Ms, if you know what I'm saying.
Meanwhile, in a nod to the burgeoning wellness movement, the orange M&M will, quote, acknowledge and embrace his anxiety. And actually, if you look at him, the orange M&M does appear very anxious. Maybe he doesn't like all the ugly new shoes he sees around him. Maybe he...
Put yourself in the headspace of the orange M&M. You're surrounded by deeply unappealing white sneakers and sensible high heels. Like, what is this shit? We all know that in order to put the orange M&M at ease, he needs to see the tallest heels. He needs to see some ballet bondage shoes, okay? It's the only way he'll be able to release his anxiety.
Liked the sexy boots. Maybe the orange M&M is a secret sexist himself. We don't know. We're going to let NPR get to the bottom of that.
Oh, God. That was honestly so much stupider than I remembered it being. And I remembered it being very stupid.
Right now that Iran somehow is going to pull off some sort of military miracle.
Being turned off by block heels is so gay, I fucking can't. It really is, isn't it?
They should have just done M&M booba and massive schlongs. It's where the Rice Crisps and peanut goes.
You know, I'm Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, and also I do want to point out that probably already exists. I bet the M&M's company could find like at least a dozen highly trained, highly skilled artists who have been drawing exclusively big schlongs and massive titties on different M&M's characters for at least the last 3 decades. Okay? I bet you could find like a weird Avengers-sized team of just smutty M&M artists who would be willing to like just get real fucking weird with it. I bet that exists. Because this is America, damn it. Not the M&M hentai. You know it.
Here, being led by the repulsive Chang, who says, quote, Iranian drones cost $35,000. Our missiles to intercept them cost between $500,000 and $4 million. Uh-oh, they have tons of drones, and we are starting to run low on THAAD and Patriot missiles. We spent 25% of them defending Israel in June. And then, of course, he calls out Glenn Greenwald, who is most famous for sucking the toes of male prostitutes and wearing bizarre lingerie and then taping it. But in any case, Chang
What? That I have to be honest. Okay, I have not heard of the Glenn Greenwald toe sucking scandal, but Ben is getting really weird with his feud against other people on the right. Oh my God. He's pushing new boundaries for his content. He knows he has to get down in the muck. All right, and rustle up these jimmies, all right? What the fuck is wrong with these guys? Holy shit, they're weird! It's why the weird attack worked! They're deeply unpersonable. They're barely capable of keeping together like a human exterior, let alone a human interior. This is breaking me. I did not expect this to be nearly as funny as it is.
He's making a point that it happens not to be true. The vast majority of Iranian drones are not being shot down by THAAD, that is the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or Patriot batteries, but actual American and Israeli aircraft. F-15s and F-16s, for example, shot down more than 80 drones in one night in April 2024 when Iran attacked Israel. F-35s, F-A-18s do the same thing. Pilots are generally using 70-millimeter laser-guided rockets, which cost about $25,000, about the same as one of the drones. And You know who's going to run out of $25,000 iterations more and faster? The U.S. or the piss-poor Iranians? We have a lot of $25,000 missiles that we can spend, like munitions that we can spend, actually. If we get in a spending war with Iran don't have no money. It is a problem for them. They can manufacture a lot of drones and we can shoot down a lot of drones. Plus, they're not going to have a command and control center to even deploy drones in the very near future. So what is coming next for the Iranians? Well, apparently, they're planning to name Ali Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, Iran's new supreme leader, which is pretty amazing, pretty amazing. So their move is not to select someone who might be more moderate to negotiate with the Americans. Instead, they're selecting someone
Why would anyone in Iran negotiate with Americans? This is my genuine question. Why on earth would you negotiate with Americans, and why on earth would you think that America would ever be honest or hold to any kind of agreement that they make? We've attacked them during negotiations multiple times in the span of less than a year. Why on earth would they believe anything? Why didn't they pick a more moderate person for America to assassinate?
who apparently is even crazier than his dad. And we'll see how that works out for them. The Israelis have already said that dude's on the target list. Unsurprising. Did you like this clip? Well,
no, I did not. Thank you for asking, though. Also, Ben, something's going on with Ben's eyebrows, right? Like, it has to be. Like, why they look weird. Ben Shapiro eyebrows. Oh, there's literally an article from 15 hours ago. What's going on with Ben Shapiro's eyebrows? From the Daily Dot. Let's just... Oh, God, why? They do look bigger. But they look way bigger than, like... No, this has to be a fucking clip. Like, we just watched Ben Shapiro.
Shabbat said holy eyebrows. Wait, what the f*** is on his face? Is this real? What?
Back to the brain rotted.
Is this photoshopped or is this actually his face?
No, that... We just watched a video. They're not this tall, right?
That's not real, is it?
I'm... You know, weird time...
Well, folks, you may have seen...
Weird time where, like... I'm also in the same boat as Sneeko. What is this?
Well, folks, you may have seen this rumor that we here at Daily Wire are working with Jonathan Majors on a new movie. And that rumor is absolutely true. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of people on the left, on X.
It has to be, like...
And they're very upset about this.
Are they prosthetics? No, they can't be prosthetics. But it does look like maybe he's, like, put product in them or something.
Very upset about this. There's lots of tweets. Okay, here's the deal.
Oh, you know what it is? It's the lighting. I bet the lighting where, like, the light is overhead and shining down is making his eyebrows look bigger. And I bet he does, like, dye them. I bet he does do that.
You whiny little bitches. We don't care. Because Jonathan Majors was canceled all the way back in 2023.
He's convicted of assaulting his girlfriend. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. He wasn't convicted. I must apologize. That was incorrect of me to say. Let me just correct the record here. Oh, no, he was convicted. Never mind. To correct the record, he was found guilty of 1 count of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and a charge of harassment as a violation. On the scheduled date, the sentencing was postponed. He was sentenced to 52 weeks of a domestic violence intervention program and probation. So, we're ecstatic to be working with this guy who was convicted of beating his partner. Cool.
Ecstatic to bring him back. He's unbelievably talented. And if you're upset now, wait until you see this film. Your heads are going to explode. Actually, maybe explode. It's pretty spectacular stuff that we're doing. That's what we do here at Daily Wire. We fight the fight. We need your help to continue to fight in the culture and to win and to do the thing no one else will do. So please.
It's genuinely wild to me that, like, they don't even think this stuff is going to be an issue. But, like, they light so much fire. Sorry, they light so much money on fire over at the Daily Wire. It's unreal. I have no idea how they continue to operate. I have no idea. They had a movie with Gina Carano that made, like, what, a few $100s in theaters? Like, what was the box office of Terror on the Prairie? Yeah, Terror on the Prairie box office. The total... Sorry. I'm sorry. So, it grossed $804 during its one-day theatrical run in the United States. Worldwide, it made $13,000. Its budget was $2 million. Like, they literally just light the money on fire, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's crazy. They get in that billionaire money. They can just light it on fire over there nonstop. That is crazy. Anyway, Ben Shapiro, wrong and bad? Like bad guy? Also, his point about like, oh yeah, no, we're not going through, these Patriot missile interceptors or THAAD missiles. We're not going through those at all over in Iran. That's just a lie. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, predominantly what is being used to stop these drones is not like circling jet fighters or jets that are scrambled as soon as they're detected. No, they're firing interceptors at these things. And like, we're running out of these interceptors at such a rate that we are moving air defense units from the Korean DMZ, one of the most heavily militarized borders in the world. We're taking our anti-aircraft stuff from there and moving it to Iran because we're running so low on those munitions. So, just as an FYI, that's what's happening. He's just lying about the cost effectiveness. And also, just to be clear, we do have manufacturing capacities for a lot of things, but we're not operating under wartime conditions and not prioritizing like any kind of wartime construction.
Ben approaching meme status.
Ben is approaching meme status, it's true. Anyway, Ben Shapiro, a silly Billy, and also not very popular anymore. But like, this video went up a few days ago and it only has like 260,000 views, which is a lot, don't get me wrong. But it got cross-posted by... It's on Ben Shapiro's channel. They have 7 million subscribers. Like, you'd think this video would do a bit better, considering it's like the main one on his channel right now. Anyway, whatever. If you're getting anything out of this, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. Comments really help in the algorithm. And also, folks, please... join your local DSA. Join your local Democrats. Make your Democrats more progressive. Make your DSA more effective. We can help you do that. Join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for your local DSA. We want to onboard you and get you involved in your local politics, okay? All that being said, last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. And tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is non-tucking lingerie. Everyone loves it. It fits practically everyone. And check it out, folks. Link down in the description. And let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.